So I figure if we're talking about motorsports, then this kind of directly applies to it. And that's the idea of almost sacrificing your life to something. I think that life is very devotional. I mean, you can see it in marriage. You guys are committing to a relationship till death do us part, till fitness and in health. And a lot of that is very sacrificial language because you have to sacrifice some of yourself while your partner is going through something, or sacrificing some of yourself into this person so that they can recover. And when we think about that, that's usually where that kind of explanation stops. However, I don't think many people have this same sort of attitude when it comes to your vocation or your calling or your truth or your destiny or fate, whatever you want to call it. And instead, they just leave it at relationships. They go to their 9 to 5 and they're not a flame that burns bright. And instead, they are very mediocre and they go throughout life lukewarm instead of boiling hot or freezing cold. And so here are some things to kind of look for whenever you are trying to find that vocation. I will say this, there's a few things you need to understand whenever you are picking something that you are almost devoting your life to, sacrificing your life to. I like the word sacrifice better than devoting your existence, because sacrifice immediately, at least when I think about it to my heart, it immediately means I am losing pieces of myself for something. Devote can just mean I'm still alive, I'm good, but I'm only focused on this. Sacrifice means I am losing life. So whenever we think about something to sacrifice ourselves to, it's even if this takes life away from me, I will still do it. And there's a few things when you go about deciding whether or not, or before you make the decision to sacrifice your life to this one thing, here are a few pluses that come when you find out what that thing is, and then we'll kind of go into how to actually find it. So I think the biggest fear that people have when it comes to actually going and deciding what it is they wish to sacrifice their life to, they're a bit scared that they don't have the time, that the things won't line up, that they'll fail, and by fail it could mean not work out at all. Like even with this YouTube video, there is a little part of me where I'm gonna post it and it's only gonna get like 10 views. A lot of the videos that I put hours into, sometimes 2-3 weeks into, have not done well. And I just have to accept that when life gives me this challenge, this thing that I decided, yeah, I'm gonna sacrifice my life to it, because I am technically losing life when only like 5 people watch this video. Meanwhile, maybe some person that doesn't put as much effort into it as I do is getting 40,000 views. And I just have to be okay with it. That's the contract I signed when I said I want to make money off of YouTube, or in a higher case, I want to race. There's a very good chance that I end up 50 years old with no money, no retirement at all, because I'm spending it all on trying to make this passion happen, that I end up destitute. I mean, I already don't have a lot. I don't have my own home. I don't even have my own apartment. So, like, what is racing going to be? It's super expensive. I'm basically burning money whenever I'm out there on the track. And so that is something that happens, but your vocation is what gives you the energy to do all of that. It's like once you figure out what this thing is, it's not so much that you're going to be excited in the morning to go and do it. And I hate it when people say that, because it's not an instance of, ooh, I can't wait. It's like I'm opening a present. I can't wait to go and do this more. It's more like your brain assigns it as a duty to yourself. And if you don't do it, then you're disrespecting yourself. And you feel it in the form of anxiety whenever you don't work out. That's a pretty close comparison. Or when you're eating a junk food, because you're disrespecting your temple. And I think that's really the biggest reassurance that I can give you, or that I've been given, when it comes to deciding to sacrifice my life to racing, to going after this dream, to climbing that ladder. And that is that when you follow it, your body will not care what it goes through. Ooh, nice little Mustang. Your body will not care what it goes through in order to get it. Or even on the journey, if you don't get it, who cares? The best thing about it is that you are fulfilled while you're doing it. It's almost like a low dose of instant gratification, where I know that if I'm in karting, while I'm karting, I'm thoroughly enjoying life. If they take me out right now, I'll be happy. However, if you're at a 9 to 5, or I say 9 to 5 because I'm very like freelance, I'm entrepreneurial, I don't like a boss. However, I think a better example might be if you're in a relationship that you don't like and you're living another day where this partner is just not right for you. I'm not going to go into abuse, or maybe they're toxic, or maybe they're just not somebody that you are on the same vibrational level with. But if you were to go that day and that was a very important part of your life, you're not going to be happy. You may actually be happier with, what is it? If you're suffering, at least you're suffering alone and not suffering with somebody you don't like. And at the very least, you get to take that. You get to have control of that. And so the feeling that you are actually controlling what it is you're going after, and not that society is telling you you need this job, or you need this type of person, or you need to make this amount of money, or have this type of car. Like, I think a common thing now is people are complaining that you can't buy a car, or a new car now, for under $20,000. You can't buy a car under $10,000. This car is $9,000, and I paid higher. I just got a Rush, for example, but I do all my car work. But these can be had for like $6K running, and will run for the next 50,000 miles. But because people like to listen to the thoughts and opinions of others instead of just doing their own research, because we've got the world's smartest computer sitting in our pockets and we don't use it. And so, circling back, because that was a long tangent, but I think it's still important, so I'll leave it in. The question that you can ask yourself when it comes to figuring out what to sacrifice your life to is, I use this a lot now. It was told to me, but I use it a lot. What is something that you don't mind doing? What is something that you knew that as you do it, you lose seconds or minutes or hours off of your life? Where it is something that draws you. It doesn't mean it interests you. It doesn't mean that you enjoy it when you do it. It means that it's something that draws you, like a squirrel burying nuts, where it's this genetic drive to do this one thing. And if you did it, you risk your life. You lose your life. Not even risk, because risk means that you have the opportunity to gain. No, if you do this, it is a net negative on your lifespan. What would that be? It doesn't have to be a job. It doesn't have to be family. It doesn't have to be friends. It can be anything, really. And when you pick this out, this is using your heart as a tool. The brain is the logic center that figures out and outlines how this is going to work. But that brain, think of it like a blind person, and then on the other end, there's this point. And that point is your fate. This is the end goal right here. And it's saying Marco, and you're the blind person saying Polo. And your brain right now is trying to decipher where in the room it sees that Marco coming from. And the brain is the legs moving towards it. But your heart is out there as a receptor. Your brain is the thing that almost translates that emotional code into thoughts that you hear in your head. And if you don't go about finding what it is you'd like to sacrifice your life to that way, and instead you just say, oh, I love playing video games a lot, so I'm just going to do that. And I use that as an example because many men now just use that as a default. Oh, I just want to be a professional gamer. Or what is it? Oh, I just want to be a YouTuber. YouTube doesn't draw me in as much as racing does. However, I know that my brain sees YouTube as an option, as a tool in order to get what I want. Racing is a money pit, and you also at the same time need the freedom on the weekends, or in series you need the freedom to be able to travel around. So I can't have a 9 to 5, and I don't want to work from home on a laptop, and I also hate bosses. So if that's the case, then YouTube succeeding is my tool to do that, and my brain figures that out, because my brain is this thing that takes in the information that I look at when it comes to color grading this beautiful image, or if the lighting is beautiful, I don't think it is, or to edit this, or to make sure I've got the right microphone, to do the research, to make sure that I'm actually in frame, because I can kind of see it there. That's what the brain is doing. However, the heart is the thing telling me that, look, I'm drawn to racing, and I also feel pleasure, or I feel a good emotion neutral emotion when it comes to recording. So let's look there. Okay, brain, seeing that we like this so much and it doesn't make us hate ourselves, how do we figure out how to do this? And so this is my route. Something as simple as talking. So that's how you kind of go about finding it. Ask yourself those questions. Use your heart and your brain. Those are two separate tools, but when combined, they're extremely powerful, just like the man and the woman. The man being the brain and the woman being the heart. They're both needed in order to make something happen, in order to move mountains. But if you have the man who is emotionless, you get a tyrant with no feelings and can only see the world in black and white. But if you get a woman who's alone, all you get is a bunch of data with a blindfold on, just darts thrown at a board with no direction whatsoever. And so now we're thinking here, if I got to get the bullseye, then I need the dart. I need the emotion and the passion to throw the dart, and that's the woman. But I need the logic and the aim, the precision, the want to wait instead of acting on impulse, and that's the man. And that's how the heart and the brain work. So figure it out, and honestly, comment down below, what is that thing that you are willing to sacrifice your life for? What is it? If it's your kids, that's fine. If it's your job, that's fine. If it is being the best mid-level employee that's as possible, that is something that's admirable. I can respect a man that does that. I hope that thing's recording. But I can't respect a human being that is in the middle. You're either in extreme action or extreme comfort, never in between, because the moment that you're in between, you're not moving. That's all I can really say to that. If you like this video, I hope it helps. That was a little bit of career pep talk, or life pep talk. I wouldn't even say career. I'm in the middle of some corporate park. Goodbye.